Opening day was what they called Black Sunday, and that's because so many things didn't work.
Yes, I was there on opening day. I was in charge of all the behind-the-scene catering for all the stars, and it was an absolute total disaster.
And the problem was somebody was counterfeiting tickets for the opening, so where they expected about 20 or 25,000, they ended up with 35,000 people, and the park just couldn't handle it in those days.
The chaos of that day was, first of all, we all did a lot of things in those days, and I got a call to get down to the Mark Twain because it was sinking. And it was actually, the deck was underwater because there were too many guests on the boat.
It was so hot, it was about 100 degrees that day in Anaheim. And ladies came, in those days, they came all dressed up. Their high heels would sink into the asphalt because it was so fresh.
And then we had a gas leak in Fantasyland, so we had a closed Fantasyland. A few weeks before the opening, there was a major meeting, and it was a plumbing strike. So I'll never forget this, and I happened to be in the meeting. So the contractor was telling Walt, there's just not enough hours in the day to finish the restrooms and to finish all the drinking fountains. And this was classic Walt, and I'm going to say it because it was Walt Disney. He said, well, you know, they can drink Coke and Pepsi, but they can't pee in the streets. Finish the restrooms.
Well, then he was accused of forcing people to buy Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola because there weren't enough drinking fountains. So we were spending all of our time trying to repair those images of the park and show people what it really was like. They asked him when Disneyland would be completed, meaning all those things that weren't working. And he said, Disneyland will never be completed as long as there's imagination left in the world.
I was going to the University of Southern California, actually getting my master's degree. I was planning on being a coach, and I needed a temporary job for the summer, so I started out in orientation training. There I was at the right place at the right time, got to know a wonderful man by the name of Walt Disney, loved the vision that he had for Disneyland, and by the end of the summer I decided to stay with it and make it a permanent position, and it lasted for a wonderful 44 years.
Well, I started at Disneyland a month before Disneyland opened. And they were looking for someone to put out a tabloid newspaper, 1890 style, on Main Street. And they hired me. I was about to be the editor of the Daily Bruin at UCLA. 2 weeks after I went to work, I had to present the concept to the Walt Disney. And I was 21 years old and had never worked professionally, and I was scared as hell.
When Disneyland was announced, okay, in 1954, maybe 53, he said, look, we're going to charge to get in. And the top execs at that time says, well, nobody pays to get into an amusement park. And he said, well, first of all, it's not going to be an amusement park, it's going to be Disneyland.
And all the people in the amusement industry thought he was crazy. You know, they had multiple entrances and he had one, and he landscaped his and kept the bathrooms clean and all of those things that the public has respected over the years. And all the people traditionally in the amusement industry said, he's nuts, tell him to save his money. Whatever we did yesterday, he wasn't interested in it anymore. He just wanted to know where we were going and what we could contribute to that journey that he was on. And it was a wonderful way of working.
Billy Graham came to the park, the evangelist, and we went down Main Street, got on the Jungle Cruise. This was 1964. Billy said, Walt, what a fantastic world, what a marvelous world of fantasy. And Walt said, Billy, look around you. All the people, all nationalities, all colors, all languages, all smiling, all having fun together. Billy, this is the real world. The fantasy's outside.
East meets West. It's a small world. That's the name of our latest attraction at Disneyland.
I always say that the most important attraction that we did in the parks was It's a Small World. The song that Bob and Dick Sherman wrote there's just one moon and one golden sun, and a smile means friendship to everyone. Think about the fact that if we could get everyone in the world to act that way toward everybody else, wouldn't it be a great place? And I don't think that's a Pollyannish thing. I think that's an important lesson for young people to get while they're having fun. And after all, we're in the fun business. That's first.